Throughout the history of the UFC, the heavyweight division has been one of the main attractions, as it usually is in most combat sports. The reason why it is because of the power these men possess and the fact that a fight can end with just one punch. Looking throughout the UFC's history, we have seen some decorated champions in the heavyweight division. Stipe Miocic, Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez, Alistair Overeem, and Brock Lesnar are just a few names that have drew in massive box offices throughout the history of the UFC. New heavyweight champion Jon Jones is the next in line to bring the massive box office draws, as he did throughout his journey as a light heavyweight. There's one main problem though: he has no one to fight. The heavyweight division has been slacking since former heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou left the company after leaving the company as champion. Let's take a dive into how the division went from hero to zero so quickly. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I will be talking about how the UFC heavyweight division has quickly become the worst men's division in the company, even with the GOAT as champion. Jon Jones has been hyping up his heavyweight debut for nearly 3 years before he stepped into the octagon as a heavyweight. Jones is regarded by many as the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, and his heavyweight debut proved to everyone who had other opinions that he should be the one with the crown. Jones was a light heavyweight his whole career before moving up, and he racked up 13 title defenses, was the youngest UFC champion in history, and had the longest UFC win streak with 18 wins in a row, with his only loss in his career being a illegal elbow shot that has been contested by many fans, but he has at least 18 wins in his official UFC win streak, which is the longest. Jones decided that he was done with his division and wanted to move to a new challenge in the heavyweight division in March 2020. The heavyweight division has had some storied rivalries in the late 2010s, including the Miocic vs. Cormier trilogy, which ended in 2020, and Francis Ngannou would take the title off of Stipe in March of 2021. He would then fight the interim champion Ciryl Gane in January of 2022 and retain his belt. Ngannou would be seen as the next great champion in the division, as his back and forth with Jon Jones would be the fight everyone wanted to see, as Jones was making his way up to the weight class to see who the baddest man on the planet really was. We would never see this fight take place as of this recording, as Ngannou and the UFC would have a fallout over a contract dispute that would see him leave the company for the PFL, the Professional Fight League. Let's take it to the modern day. Jon Jones would debut in the heavyweight division at UFC 285 against Ciryl Gane. Going into this fight, it was almost a toss-up on most sports betting websites, as Jon Jones was a slight favorite at -170, with Gane being around +145. The reason for this being so close is because of the 3-year hiatus that Jones took, and the fact that he was moving up in weight. It wasn't a hot take to bet on Gane in this fight, as these two reasons would be enough to draw people away from Jones. Despite this, Jon Jones proved that he was the greatest fighter of all time. He went into this fight calm and collected and shocked the world, submitting Gane in the first round. Many, including myself, expected a close fight, but Jones had other plans. After this fight, Jon Jones would call out Stipe Miocic, who he called the heavyweight GOAT. This seemed like the best fight at the time, as a changing of guard fight, and was scheduled to be set at the UFC's premier pay-per-view during International Fight Week in July.
Y'all want to see me beat up Stipe? One thing I know about the UFC is we give the fans what they want to see. Stipe Miocic, I hope you're training, my guy. You're the greatest heavyweight of all time, and that's what I want. I want you real bad.
As the months have progressed, it seems like this fight has been put to the side due to the amount of other things Jones has got himself into. Jones recently had been beefing with Tyson Fury on social media, and now it seems as though there have been talks between the two about a possible hybrid fight. Whether this happens or not, we don't know, but there's reportedly interest between the two.
I hear that Jon Jones is looking for a fight. Me, I'm your man. I heard him say that Jon Jones could me up if we went in the room together. I don't think so. Not a man born from his mother can me up in a room on our own. Whatever happens in that room, I'd be walking out. Not a problem.
We have also seen Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou re-spark a little bit of beef, as we saw them talk at a recent PFL event where the two said that they both want the smoke.
Do it for the people!
The main problem about both of these fights, neither one of these fighters are in the UFC. The number of contenders for Jones' title in the division in the UFC is very minimal, as we saw the number one guy tap out within the first 3 minutes. And if you look past that, there really isn't anyone that would draw in a huge box office besides maybe a Sergey Pavlovich, who's been on a tear recently, and it seems like he's probably the best option as of right now. After that, there really isn't anyone of note that would give Jones a run for his money. Curtis Blades lost to Sergey, Tom Aspinall lost to Blades, and Tai Tuivasa lost to Ciryl Gane. If Jones and Gane had a close fight, the option for a rematch would be on the table, but that doesn't seem likely as of right now. It seems like the only options the UFC would have right now is Sergey and Stipe. But Stipe is getting older by the day, and Sergey would probably make the most sense at this moment. If Jones took these two fights, then retired from the MMA, or went out to look for that Fury or Ngannou fight, that would be a good finish to his career. But what happens after that? The heavyweight division is lacking, and with the PFL taking big names, it's not getting any easier for the UFC. Sergey, Gane, and Tai are all relatively young and talented, but outside of that, I don't see much to be excited about. The heavyweight division is arguably the worst division, but hopefully there's some hope that we can find for the future. It would be sad to see such a historic division and championship have a drought as so many other divisions continue to strive. But Dana White seems to do his best work when his back is against the wall, so hopefully this is another case of that, and we get to see some exciting fights coming as Jon Jones will hopefully get some worthy challenges to end his career.